presentation. And we hope you don't mind, Ibu. I'm sure we have a lot of questions from the audience, but perhaps we can do that after during the panel discussion, Ibu. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite our panelists who will discuss about from the Norwegian perspective, Norwegian government's perspective, as well as from the business community's perspective. I'd now like to invite Mr. Fredrik Abdelmarbuid from the Norwegian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then Mr. Martin Jorgensen from Scandinavia, and also Ibu Eni. If you can just join us here on the stage. And we'll just have a conversation style presentation, one after the other, and then we'll just have a Q&A. And if anyone from the audience would like to jump in and ask questions, please feel free to do so. So, how about Fredrik?
All right. Thank you very much. You can all hear me? Good. No, it's very exciting seeing these updates from on the economic outlook from Bank of Indonesia, and so it's all on a positive note, and it's impressive that you've managed to keep the inflation low, as most of the world hasn't. And you're better adapted to having higher inflation historically, so so you know how to handle it. Yes. So, but I'm here to. For those of you who don't know me, I was the head of Innovation Norway in Indonesia for almost 5 years, and the commercial counselor at the embassy. I'm now with the business promotion, the section for business promotion and green transition at the MFA, focusing on Southeast Asia, among other things. So that said, it's hard to keep focus on Indonesia at all times, but I always have a special bond to Indonesia. So actually, I can't stress enough. They can help you assess the risk, get a better cultural understanding. They won't be able to go into all the different contractual meetings.
Elaborate more, perhaps, on how the Norwegian government's perspective on the outlook for the economic relations between Indonesia and Norway. But so I will pass the mic over to Martin.
Hello?
Maybe a little bit of introduction about yourself and.
So we work together. I'm son, is his mother, and we actually import. So we work with relations with Indonesia, import goods. Our company Scandinavia is, and we are sitting here to discuss how the trade agreement, which was in effect for 2021, has affected our company and how it benefits us for even today and for future prospects.
Yeah, I think Martin is referring to the
SIPA.
The SIPA,
Yeah.
Indonesia-Europe Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Yeah.
So we started as a small company in 1980, or she started. I was born. I was 2 years old when she started. Yeah, 3 years now. And I remember coming home from kindergarten, and I just see stacks of cartons everywhere. She wanted to follow her heart, and she wanted to have Indonesia in Norway. That's her idea. And then fast forward today, we import a lot from Indonesia and other Asian countries, and we are seeking benefits from our relationships, which is very good. The thing is, it's like a gradual reform, so it will be more beneficial as time goes. And right now, it helps, but it's not as great. Decrease in tariffs, which is very good, but that's 9 years from today. Now I think it's 12 or 25%, depending on the number. And this gives Indonesia, importing from Indonesia or investing in Indonesia, because it's the same thing, will be beneficial because of this tariff agreements. So yeah, that's the short story. It's we get more competitive. Yeah.
Maybe would you like to add some more before we go on to the discussion? Maybe a little bit about your experience and how the two relations between the two countries have assisted in your attempts, in your efforts as an importer?
I would like to tell about my background from international shipping company, and I moved to Norway in 1983, and 1991 I get like a homesick, and I miss Indonesia very much, and I felt very lonely, and I said I want to do something for Indonesia. 1991, and I start my company from my house, and we have a small bar, something like a small place in my living room, and I start my company in 1991. Just because at the time actually I felt very lonely and I miss Indonesia, so my lonely was gone. And it was continue, but it was hard, but I never give up until today, and I work very hard to get my target until today, and I'm proud of my son. He assisted me very much, and the last 3 years our company growing very fast, and especially with a special agreement between about the tax between Indonesia and Norway is help our business very much. So I do hope another can follow us. And
Actually, I have a input because I remember when COVID came and SIPA was in effect when that happened. So we kept prices. Because of this, we managed to keep prices kind of stable. We didn't need to increase, so SIPA helped. Actually, our competitive edge, everyone is raising prices, we give them.
That's great. So Hadi, Frederick, do you have any comments to that, or do you want to elaborate more on the Norwegian government's perspective?
Yeah, I don't have any details on the CEPA agreement in that sense, but it's a very good story to hear that it actually is working. So this CEPA agreement is a long-term commitment, right? So it will be better, tariffs will be lower going forward, and in that sense, if you have some problems and issues that you are wondering about in terms of that, Innovation Norway has an export office for technical export expertise.
In Jakarta, you can also have a conversation with our friends from the Chamber of Commerce, because they can also provide inputs on how to invest, and there's a one-stop service, and if you have questions on regulations and things like that, that can also help. So I think we can just open the floor for discussion. If anyone from the audience would like to ask, or maybe Ibu Aida, would you like to join us up here? Yes, okay, all right. So so let's just have a conversation. I see anybody would like to ask anything? I can see some long-term investors in Indonesia, such as my friend Alfred from Tinfos, calling you out. And then I see some colleagues from the Chamber of Commerce and Indonesian Oral Society, perhaps. Wendy, would you like to? We'll just have a nice conversation here.
Yeah, maybe I can start. It's very nice to have this event to highlight us quite promising, and we as a diaspora Indonesia living in Norway, we like to introduce about the organization that we just established called Indonesian Norway Society. It's registered in Norway, and the ambition is the goal is to be a bridge between Indonesia and Norway, and then to accelerate the cooperation between Indonesia and Norway in all sectors, including the economic. So we are very pleased, and by living in Norway, we are living now a green mindset. Everything is about green, about transition and stuff.
Come from the commercial banks and also the government sector. Right now, government also has issued the sukuk bond that based on the green economy. For Bank Indonesia and also the FSA, what we are doing is just to incentivize so as that the green financing is developing further and further. I just give you 2 examples what Bank Indonesia been doing. The first one is for the small and micro enterprises. Bank Indonesia, knowing that actually 60% of the GDP coming from the SMEs and 97% of the labor also coming from this sector, we cannot close our eyes just to see the inflation and so on, but we also worked with our 46 regional offices to improve the well-being of the SMEs. So we have what we call the pilot project as a master program, in where we do the technical assistance on how they do the business and facilitate them to understand about how to do business in more green environment, prep and so on. But for the financing, we give the incentive what we call the macro-prudential policy. Because Bank Indonesia right now cannot give lending directly to the economic sector and not to government as well. So what we are doing, we go through the macro-prudential policy. The macro-prudential policy enables us to give incentive for the banking sector who do more business in the green financing. So for example, we giving back their
Yeah. But so it covers both. It covers both. That's part of it. That's why it's not a regular free trade agreement. It also covers foreign direct.
What is the target of increasing the prices for those for the renewable energy prices? Yeah, I think it's the need for finance.
I think I just take note with your question because I'm not in the place to answer that problem. I have no idea what's going on in detail, but I just take note and then maybe I can reveal that to the authority.
Yeah.
Section for East Asia. I had a question to Scan Asia, a very brief question concerning import of food products, export of seafood. It was eventually sorted out via the proper authorities. We got the proper food certificates or veterinary certificates, and it was all sorted out. But I was wondering if you have encountered any technical trade barriers or challenges concerning food import, and if so, if the free trade agreement has been helpful to sort issues out. Thanks.
Health certificate, hands down. It's not that easy. And if it's border control, that's it. They follow EU regulations. And so it does not move faster. I wish border controls were cheaper. But I don't understand why it's so expensive, because they don't do much work. We hired a help to do this. They just open some whatever.
It's still their exemption, but the customers are the product produced from the fish, they need halal certificate. So directly raw fish may not need yet, but I think there is in Indonesia about their exemption for raw fish. The rest is that they need halal certificate.
I visited the exhibition in Barcelona, and I visited the Norwegian fishery and some Norwegian exporters, and they are not happy with ERN system. They said they have problem
To earn the money. If like I have examples fishing from fish market to new startups where we just okay, we do it for free and I have also covered my travel cost just to start startups, and if it works, so of course we
operate in Indonesia as a foreign. And wouldn't it be better that Indonesia, in a way, doing the same as Norway did with it, and making an investment fund very enabling the locals to actually invest in foreign business, so it's easy to get the access to the technologies. So you should know yourself what you need the best, and then search that one and going to likes of Frederick and Innovation Norway and say, hey, we need this one. Where is these companies? Many of them are startups, but right now the investment and the help for Norwegian companies to get out is usually not for startups. They are for established companies. It's very difficult for startups to find technologies, solutions. It has been very easy to get access to money. It is not easy to get access to money. We are challenging while Indonesia has a huge market, and still, as you mentioned, you are developing that means you need to help yourself. And one thing you can help yourself with is actually invest in companies with technology so you can early
Guys, my boss. It's also for the relationship with the business relationship in Indonesia and Norway. Actually, here I talk is my experience personally, as because I'm deal in renewable energy, my business, that we are deal in the solar panel. That actually I would like to share the ambassador the strategy that how that Indonesia, because our president also is already put the target that our net zero is to 2060. So we already going toward to this. Of course, this like the Norway and others very developed, but we already going toward to this target. We like the solar panel. What I build now, we already installed that. Like Bali, when you came to Bali, like Wida said that Indonesia is a lot of
for investment or not. Well, Indofood is a local Indonesian company, but at the same time, we have a lot of businesses outside of Indonesia. We have 11 factories that are outside of Indonesia. We have a lot of branches in Europe as well, so we tend to follow the regulation. Not that we need to follow the regulation. So, but we can feel on our skin that sometimes Europe, well, okay, Norway is not a member of the European Union, but at the same time, it can be very restrictive. Indonesian economy, in that sense, also has its own policies that are very protective. So if you're talking about investment in terms of oil and gas, Indonesia has a very big company called Pertamina that also has gas. And obviously, if you want to work in that business, they will not be so welcoming. So obviously, it's state-owned as well. We have faced the same challenges in Norway regarding their palm oil policy. So of course, some things that are difficult for Norway are difficult for Indonesia in terms of investment. But then you have very good examples that people maybe wanted to mention. For example, Hungary has a toll road investment which is more than $300 million. Building the toll roads in Indonesia, which is a huge foreign investment, especially for a small country that has around 10 million people. So they are very recent, so the project is ongoing, and we hope they will have the vignette system in the next 2 years in Indonesia. So there are many foreign companies investing in Indonesia. It's a huge market for Indonesia.
So you need the cultural understanding. A good place to start is here, actually. So, but in general, Norway and the Scandinavian countries are very trusting, built on trust.
Can utilize as well on top of all the events that are bridging to that. So I think that's my input. That's something that we need to remember, because one thing is about technology and the business itself, but we as a human is important. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Just wanted to also, with regards to energy, there's very active conversations and discussions happening.
Everyone, my name is Esther. I'm from Kadin, Indonesia Trading House. It's actually, we are powered by Indonesian Chambers of Commerce. This is Liana, and there's another 2 friends here. And Indonesian Trading House, actually, we try to help one of the things that we do actually helping the small medium enterprises to market their products globally. So outside we have featuring or showing some of the products that we bring. Hopefully Scandinavia or can help us to bring the products inside Europe or Oslo. And then we also help, for example, from this country, from Oslo, from Norway to import to Indonesia. We can also help find partners in Indonesia. So you can utilize us. We have the business service desk to find information whether your products it's suitable in our house. The raw products, I don't think we do need a halal certificate yet. But for packaged goods, for packaged products, it's better to have, because many Indonesian right now really cares about halal. Even for the packaging, they want to have a halal packaging, especially those who get in touch with the food itself. And yeah, we want to have like the export ecosystem, and please contact us. If
You're not going to start
Yeah.
singing, are you?
it's not one of my talents. I tried many times. Okay, this is due to green energy, right?
Yeah.
So when the countries speaking together, I think one of the main items for getting the investment done is how to solve the prices, because you can talk so much you want about green energy, but if it's not a business case into it, it will still never go forward, and you are in status quo with the coal. So by the government, when Norway, Indonesia, all other countries talking about they want to change, they need to come with some regulations so we become profitable to invest in this. This is my view, due to I've been involved in different green energy projects, and also in hydrogen, because there is a long-term investment, and also with Tinfos, you need to have the prices, and there they need the government to come on the table to provide, so both parties come in a better position. It's not a question, it's just a view that I hope we all can collaborate better together.
Thank you. This is another part of our process
Yes.
to move forward.
Having startups here. Yeah, Norway is very, very difficult for new startups to get into the market. Norway's culture is, we do what we did yesterday, and we're using the same company as we used yesterday. And it is well known in Europe that Norway...
To current understanding, it was neither salmon nor oil and gas that actually made Norway a prosperous country. It was clean energy from hydropower. Clean energy from hydropower in Norway industrialized Norway and moved Norway into a development.
The system around it, it comes down to families and relations and human beings. Use standard families or companies and try to make a partnership. That will work. I mean, Norwegian Innovation Norway can help a little bit. They don't have that kind of platform. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Pastor. We'll just take a few more.
I have some questions for Ru Aida and the company in local. As you meet with Frederick now, my question is there any kind of cooperation that you can have between the Bank Indonesia and Frederick to help startup company in Norway, which is by Indonesian people? That is my question. Thank you.
In the room. So Bank Indonesia is the central bank of a country, like Norges Bank. It has different mandate and tasks. So the mandate of Bank Indonesia is to achieve and maintain macroeconomic and financial stability. So we are here for the investment to come. One of the very important conditions is to have macroeconomic and financial stability. So that is where Bank Indonesia come into the picture. So as the investment would come to Indonesia, would have the security that knowing the financial and macroeconomic stability is there. So that's Watika. So we're not in the business of, helping, the diaspora, but trying to help. Of course, we would like to help in any way that we could. For example, like I've mentioned earlier, for the SMEs in Indonesia, why we are supporting, because this has a lot of things to do with the sustainability economic growth in Indonesia, because they consist of 60% of Indonesia. But we are not the ministry who is responsible to do the well-being of the small and medium enterprises. We're doing that because some of the SMEs are working in the what is called the food industry or food production. And food production is important for innovation, because Indonesia is a country with the 1,000 islands, so we need to have the production in there. We cannot just do the monetary policy like the advanced economies, just to increase or decrease the policy rate. We need to do more on the real sector. So that's Bu Atika. So that is why it's not that we don't want to have Frederick. Frederick of course can, not Frederick, sorry, Martin. But Martin can always talk to us on, so we can also give shed a light about the condition of the economy.
Last few words from Frederick and Scottish.
Discussion here today. So I think it's been a great room to be in, and yeah, Espen, I totally agree with you. Local partners is essential. You need that to succeed. So I don't think there's any opposition in Innovation Norway either to that we need local partners. So I think you're spot on. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for having me today. Yeah, terima kasih.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope the Norwegian investor are more interested to invest in Indonesia, because it is a huge market there, and important approaching, and the secret is to be success there, approaching to be friend with your partner, and then the road is become smooth. Go further. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
To really say a few things from what we learned from this gathering. We start with a very comprehensive analysis of the macroeconomic situation of Indonesia, and in the effort to build confidence among all the participants that despite all the challenges we have at the global level, there are parties within Indonesia who will work very steadfastly to ensure that we still have capacity to maintain a stable financial and macroeconomic sectors. We experienced a challenge in 1998 when we experienced the economic crisis triggered by financial crisis within the region, and that's a very tough lesson learned that we have. From then on, I think we create a very solid infrastructure, as explained by Ibu Aida, where all the parties responsible on the financial sectors and are sit together and capable to discuss on some policy measures whenever we are having challenges at the global level at the financial sectors. So in essence, the role of the Bank Indonesia, or Central Bank of Indonesia, Ministry of Finance, is to ensure that we continue to have a robust system at the macroeconomic level. And that will certainly open up a lot of opportunity for business community or enterprise to benefit from this sort of stable environment. We are here to bring some of the economic players just to give some of their experience in conducting business. So it creates also a different flavor that opportunities in terms of trade investment is very much open. When you want to do business with Indonesia, you don't just think about the short term. But as Ben just mentioned, 20 years doing business with China is a long-term projection. I would say the same. If you look at the success story of all foreign investment is coming to Indonesia from China, from Japan, they have a long-term vision. Not only they want to have a quick return of investment, but they really wish to have a long-term connection with the country, build business, because they know if they stay there for long, the return might not be as quick as they wish, but they have a long-term projection. Our economy is big, over 280 million people, And you might also think that we have a very big young generation, they call it demographic dividends, who have a similar thinking with so many young generation all over the world. They share the passion about climate, green energy, about the use of green technology. So there is a lot of similar ideas and aspiration. This is a good connectivity because you are not talking about investment for today, but investment for long-term period with the new capital of young generation who will lead the countries in the future. So this is all things that you might want to put into consideration when you think about Indonesia. We continue to be the largest economy within Southeast Asia and a stable democracy. I would say this because many queries coming to us around the election. That's why we bring in this theme today, because a lot of questions, will there be economic stability, continuity in economic policy as it was today. So this is partly of the interest of us to have all of you here to open up a good discourse, because democracy need to bring something. We have this similar system. Norway is democracy, Indonesia is democracy. So we build more commonalities in terms of discourse that we can build. Certainly doing business with country, I wouldn't say countries, but to have a close authoritarian system, you might find a clearer expectation in terms of regulation, in terms of policy that you wish to facilitate more into the business doing in certain countries. But in Indonesia, we are, as a democracy, there is a lot of discussions. And that's what we call dividend from the democracy, that we can have more people engaged in the process. But it will ensure when a lot more parties participate in the discussion, then it will bring a more clarity in how the economy will grow up in the future. So I believe in so many participants already mentioned into personal relation. That is a key in any economy. I believe even in a very big economy, personal relation continue to play some important role. So this is the forum where you can build contact, meet some of the players, meet some of the policymakers. Hopefully, it further increase your confidence on Indonesia. I would continue to say, don't only look for now, look for 20 years. Transition to clean energy is there, and we will seriously commit ourselves and conduct policies leading to a good, cleaner energy. And rest assured that the election, as we mentioned, the result of the election just confidence that we will continue the good works that the current government has been done. Yes, there are certain state company which also have social responsibility because our economy is so mixed between the rich and the yet to be improved economically. Need to government intervention in there. That include how to manage the price of electricity, for instance. So, but this should not discourage you to invest in Indonesia. Continue to think long-term projections, and we're always open to serve your interest here. As mentioned in Oslo, we are here for you. I'm so sorry, Ibu, that all of questions come to your directions, but it should be us actually to respond to some of the queries. But I'm glad, Bu, you are here, so you can help us a bit responding to some of the questions. But in any case, the question is a reflection of your interest and strong willingness to connect your company, your business with Indonesia. I should stop there, and I'll give back the floor to Ibu Astari, who's been very good in leading the discussion. And hopefully, when all this over, we are still here in Oslo, and come to the embassy, and we have more conversation. Thank you.
Everybody loves
Steal my thunder.
Oh yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. I love how you're very passionate about
My
Indonesia.
rendang.
Yes, your rendang. Yes. So I was going to say, Apologies, Ibu, I didn't mean to, but this is my time now. I just want to say thank you, Bapak Dubes, and also thank you for all of our friends here today, Norwegians and Indonesian businessmen and members of the governments. We want to thank you for your participation today. Today is very serious. We had a very serious discussion, a very open and heart-to-heart communication. But tomorrow is the time for all of us to take a step back and relax, because we have the Indonesian Festival tomorrow, Festival Indonesia, which will be held in Youngstorget. It will start at 10 a.m. Ibu Eni Skanesia will be there. If you love Indonesian food, spicy rendang, please come, and she will be there. We're promoting her rendang from Padang, which is from West Sumatra. And then we also have Indo Food is also part of our partner, and then try their products as well. And then there will also be some performances, some dancing, some singing. And if you want to see parade, there will also be a parade that will start at 9:30. But please do come tomorrow. The festival will start at 10 with official remarks at 11. And then it will conclude at 5 p.m. And hopefully the food will still be going past 3. Huh?
The grand
prize?
prize?
Yes, and also there's a grand prize, which is a free ticket sponsored by Turkish Airlines to Indonesia. So, so yes, do come tomorrow, and right, we are going to have lunch now. Lunch is just upstairs on the second floor. And thank you very much, everybody, for today's discussion, and please let us continue the conversation. Thank you. Selamat siang.